Hello.
We are so excited to have you on. I just can't wait to pick your brain, right? So for those of you who do not know Oscar, he's the team leader of the luxury team. He specializes in managing high-level luxury real estate portfolios. And he's also the founder of the Real Estate Institute, and he's trained more than 25,000 agents in his career. So you're a wealth of knowledge here. We're super excited to pick your brain, and thank you for taking time out of your schedule to spend this time with us today.
Well, thanks to you, Jason and Jen. I hear great stuff about you also, that you guys are the #1 top producers in your area. And I love to be here, picking also your brain and mastermind over here. So anybody that's listening to us live or later on, let's make this happen. So let's go.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, so you've done all these incredible things, right? But I like to start at the beginning. Like, how did you even get into real estate? Where did this all start for you?
Well, this is something that, I came from, I was born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, mom and dad from Venezuela, and we used to live in Washington, D.C. So then it was too cold for us, and we decided to move to the beautiful Florida, where all of us are over here. And, we have vacation homes. Back in the days in Kissimmee, it was a vacation home. We had some property management company. And then we decided to take the license and be ourselves our own property management. And then we decided to teach somebody else what we learn and what we do. And then I got my real estate instructor license for the state of Florida. And the past 19 years, I've been teaching in Spanish and Portuguese. So we teach the classes in both languages also. And that's how I got into real estate, just loving to do what I do nowadays. I understand that giving back, teaching somebody else what I know about real estate and telling the truth, it's pretty simple than just trying to, be somebody else. So I love to do real estate. And I hear that you guys are in Tampa area. So how you guys, are doing over there in the market?
The market is on fire, right? I think we're hearing that everywhere, but we can't complain. We're so blessed, right? We're so blessed that we're not from here originally. We ended up relocating to this area about 8 years ago this summer.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I remember when we moved here, he came first to check out the area. I thought he moved me to the middle of nowhere. I was crying when we were driving to the house. I'm like, what did you do? And now that we live here, we've just found this amazing community where we live. We just love this area. And I think everybody else does too. That's why they're all moving here.
Yeah, the growth has been phenomenal.
Unbelievable growth here in our area.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, nowadays, I love being with EXP, and I can tell you that, I started luxury realty because I thought that if I could sell, $100,000 property. I remember me selling a piece of land for $3,000 in Poinciana, close to Kissimmee, and I say, why not add in a little bit more zeros after the 3,000, right?
Absolutely.
And so I came. Nowadays, I live in Coral Gables in Miami, and I came to the Biltmore Hotel back in the days to train myself how to sell luxury properties. And then my first property was $2.3 million in Lake Border Sound, close to where Tiger Woods used to live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then that was my first luxury property. And in a couple of days, we're gonna release videos on my social media because I got a Major League Baseball player that bought a huge property, and he allows us to do videos and to put it in the social media. And that's how I started, and that's what I love to do.
So I guess I'm going to pick your brain now. So obviously, your market is a little bit different than ours, right? And so how is it, first of all, how is your market there? And then what's going on in the luxury versus the average sale price of a home?
Well, there is a price range where it's really hot, and there is a price range which is kind of buyer's market, right? So you got seller's market and buyer's market. When you were talking about 10 millions and up, 10, 12, 20 millions, it's really hot right now. So basically, it's a seller's market. You got people from the founders from PayPal that they bought a property recently and $50 million. We just here in Miami, Waldorf Astoria just launched the tallest building in South Florida. And so that luxury market, it's pretty hard. But you got a couple of condominiums, because we got a lot of condominiums over here that they're not selling that much. I mean, it's just kind of like a waiting when we're talking between the $2 million range up to the $10 million. It's basically, in that case, it's a buyer's market. It's not a seller's market. Now, when we're talking about residential, like Coral Gables, you got all houses, right? And you got, $700,000, $1 million property. It's crazy. You got one of these days, I got one property that got 51 offers in that price range. But the luxury market, Messi from Barcelona, well, he's Argentinian, but Messi just bought a property over here. And also Derek Jeter just bought a piece of land here in Coral Gables recently. So
he just sold his Tampa property. Yeah. Jeter did. He sold it for $22 million. The house in Tampa that Tom Brady was renting.
Well,
just last week.
Yeah. You see, so I think that there is a niche for that kind of market, but you gotta pay the price. I want to tell to all the agents that are into the industry that want to break into the luxury market. You gotta pay the price. You need to talk the language. You need to not necessarily say about it. You need to dress like them all the time, but you gotta pay the price. You gotta go to the places, commute with them, talk with them, and spend the time. It's not something that happens overnight, because somebody is gonna spend $50 million on a property. You better are good at you got the right tools. You got the right lawyers, accountants, CPAs. So they gonna search your Instagram, your Facebook, all your background, just to make sure that you are who you are.
I think what you just pointed out that was a really big thing that people don't think about is you just said who you align yourself with. You need those CPAs, those lawyers. In this business, whether you take it from the residential all the way up, I think everybody gets into this market just thinking it's easy, right? They watch HGTV, they watch Selling Sunset, and they think I can do that. And it's not that you can't do that, but you just have to realize that you are helping, whether they're the average home buyer or extremely wealthy professional, that this is still a huge investment for them. This is an asset. This isn't something that we're not playing with a couple $100 here. We're playing with hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. So your education, who you align yourself with, who is in your network is huge, right? And that's something I hear it all the time, and I'm sure you see it too, right? I have these people, they'll come and they'll join the team, they start having a little bit of success. I'm gonna be a luxury agent. Okay, how are you gonna do that? Why would they pay you and choose you? And right there is just what you said. It's your network of people who serve and paying the price on your education, really getting in there and understanding.
You gotta earn it.
You gotta earn it.
Yeah. I mean, basically, I joke in my classes, and I said to people, listen, once you pass your real estate license and you get your license, you gotta change your Toyota and your Nissan if you're gonna break into the luxury market. Nothing wrong against that. Okay, and some people come say, oh, but Toyota is Toyota, and I say, yeah, but Mercedes and Maserati is Maserati, right? So basically, I mean, if you go and pick up somebody from the airport and just Ford F-150 20 years ago, maybe it's an antique, and okay, I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, if you go to have lunch, it's the right place with the right people, and you gotta pay the price. But some people, they're not willing to pay the price even to sell a $100,000 property because they don't want to get out. And I understand that you guys have paid the price also to be successful. So what is the secret, guys, also that you have, because you've been successful, you are over there, you've been 8 years working hard. So what is something that you can tell me also, because we are colleagues and we're in the same industry, that I can use to explore my business and sell my penthouse $50 million that come with a car, the $2.4 million. It's a Vulcan, an Aston Martin Vulcan, which are only 14 around the world. And we love, guys, for you to come over here and we can do a live here in Aston Martin Tower. It's beautiful.
I can do about 4 hours.
Yeah, we have 4-hour drive. We'll be there.
Come on. But what can you tell me so I can sell that penthouse?
Right. So go. You want to do it? No. So I'm going to relate this almost to the investor side, right? So we got into the real estate investing a few years ago, and going back to talking the talk and walking the walk, that's different terminology, right? When you meet with an investor, you've got to understand things like COC, cash on cash return, cap rates, GOI, NOI. Those are the terminologies where if you don't know it, anyone that's seasoned or an investor, they're going to call you out on that, right? So a lot of agents have a lot of stuff to learn, and this kind of plays into the luxury as well, right? People that are buying $10 and $20 million homes, their average lifestyle and what they concern their money with are generally different than people buying $100,000 homes. So you have to be able to relate to that lifestyle, that business talk, that financial responsibility. And I think it cross plays into luxury and investment, because every luxury home is an investment, and everyone that I've ever met with a high net worth, they own real estate as investments.
That's awesome. You know, it brings me to that maybe 10 or 12 years ago. I got somebody from Peru. They called me and I said, Oscar, I want a luxury property. That afternoon, I said, God, thanks. Okay, I'm going to make a sell luxury property. And you know what? I went into my MLS. I sent her, $10 million properties. And then she calls me back and says, son, what's going on? What are you talking about? And I said, well, you told me you want a luxury property.
Right.
And she says, no. It's $350,000. So what is luxury for you might not be luxury for somebody else, or vice versa. Mm-hmm. When you are talking to me about investment side, just brought to me also, yes, who's going to buy a $50 million penthouse in Miami? That has to be somebody that is on the financing side, a couple of friends from the New York Stock Exchange. Yeah. Some people that are bright. So you gotta, we're not talking about dressing or kind of cars. We're talking about the languages and the knowledge that you need to have. And that's what I call pay the price. You gotta study, you gotta invest time, you gotta do your life so people know what you're doing. But then you gotta sit down and show how you're gonna rent, a $50 million penthouse, or you're gonna keep it just for vacation. What you're gonna do with that one, and that's very interesting.
Absolutely,
it is very interesting, and I think that everything from the luxury side, right? I think that this is my opinion, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like if you're an agent who really wants to break into that luxury market, you need two brands. Your brand for that $300,000 house, and then your brand for your luxury product, I think should be completely separate.
Yes, I completely agree, because you can now work in both sides. I got friends that they call me and say, listen, Oscar, I need a property for rent in Miami. And, I say, okay, for how much? Or what do you got? And they said, oh, it's $3,000. I said, sorry, I don't do that. I got properties for rents that are $25,000 a month. Okay. So I don't do that. I will refer to a nice agent in EXP that they are marketed in Doral or Canada, right? Yep. They do that every single day. They are local over there. I am in a company, you and me, we are in a corporation, organization that we can refer somebody. I just got an agent. I have somebody that wants to buy a property pre-qualified from Mexico in Boca. I don't have anybody in Boca from my team, but in the corporation, there are several guys in Boca. This is what happens. She referred the guy this morning to buy in Boca, and the guy in Boca refers somebody to buy a property in Orlando. So it's a mutual referral. So you want to sell a property in Aston Martin? Hey, let's partnership. Let's do a partnership. Let's work together. Let's close the deal. And in a 6% commission on a $50 million property, there's enough commission for everybody, right? Sure. But somebody you just want to break into it, try to sell it, and it's totally different ball game, because an amateur guy is totally different than the champion. It's totally different.
Yeah, completely different.
Oscar, I want to pick your brain on some of the higher side real estate and what you're seeing with syndicating deals, crowdfunding deals, things like that, because we started doing that with some property in Tennessee where we started getting some of our friends that we like to align ourselves with, that we want to be in business with, and started buying some higher end properties. And since then, I've seen companies like Picasso come out and they're saying, you know, they'll email me, hey, do you want an eighth of this house for $750,000? Everybody owns an eighth of it. And then obviously, as you know, we've got Grant Cardone now in our group. He's the absolute king of syndicating real estate. He's got billions under his management. So what's that look like in your market?
Well, yeah, you are completely right. You got Cardone, you got Alex, which is investing with Cardone also, Alex Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And I've seen a couple of guys over here from Latin America that they started to do it at the crowdfunding, especially with foreign nationals, which are some limitations for foreign nationals.
Yeah.
But the crowdfunding is really good. On the blockchain side, if you got a blockchain, right? And we're talking about technology, and that's what EXP is all about, also about technology.
Yeah.
And if you allow somebody in different investment, and I love it, hey, you got $7,000 or $5,000, okay, let's have something that gives security to your $7,000, because nowadays, if you write down a contract, so where do you record it? It's the same thing like, a mortgage. A mortgage needs to be recorded. It's on public record. So it's the same thing. It's a blockchain.
Yep.
At the end of the day, it's public record. So the question over here would be, are those investors in crowdfunding, and they're doing it over here? Listen, the Argentinians are buying in crowdfundings, sometimes not very well organized, like just a regular LLC. And they buy multifamily homes in flaggers, which are maybe 8-9 units. Yep. They rehab it and then they rent it. So it's very hard in all properties, all areas in Miami, especially Little Havana, and you get also Miami Gardens, where they are buying these clusters of properties and then they are renting. It's pretty interesting what South Americans are doing, especially right now as Argentina, bringing all the money. But you know what I'm seeing? Most of them, they don't have the technology to secure. If we got somebody like you, that you got, the crowdfunding very well organized, and you got the technology, and you can offer to those guys, because what I'm seeing is that they just open a regular LLC, and then they have shares over there. But that's not the regular crowdfunding per se, or a real estate investment trust, right? Which is higher.
Yeah.
So it's in New York Stock Exchange. That would be very attractive. There was this Colombian guy. He started to do it in Miami, and now he's doing it in New York, where he's buying also in New York some old properties. They just do whatever they do, and in 5 years there is a return on investment.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And that's actually a good market right now, because the country has a shortage of real estate. Most markets are experiencing new price levels that are high. New York is actually one of the markets on sale, because there's been such an exodus out of New York, New Jersey, things like that. So the investors with that long-term vision, I think they're absolutely right. New York is still going to be New York in 2 or 3 years when everyone's done with COVID, it's in the past. New York's going to come back. It's a great place to buy property.
Yep, I completely agree. And we as a professional, we got to tell the people that whoever is watching this right now or later on, please find a professional in your area or whatever you're doing. I mean, I would love to be Jason or Jen or me, but please find a professional, somebody that it's proven, that has done it. Just do partnership. There is any kind of agreement that we can do. And that's why I want to bring it. That's why I use my share, because I would love to bring this message that we sell as one. We are agents. We are professionals. We sell as one. It doesn't matter the language. We can do it in Spanish also. Okay?
I like it, yes.
But we sell as one. I mean, if you are an investor and you got even $100,000, $7,000, or $1 million, just try to get with your real estate agent professional. I mean, it's like in any industry. Find people like Jason, like Jen in your area, or we have partnerships. We just do partnership, but just make sure that you got the team in place. And this is a team game. It's like baseball, it's like football, it's like soccer. You need a team to invest in the United States or anywhere. Now, I understand, Jason and Jen, that now we can sell more properties internationally, right? Because we got more countries.
Right.
I'm so excited about it.
EXP just keeps expanding, you know?
Yes, now we can sell. Next one is going to be Panama. Then it's going to be Germany. And the next one is going to be Japan. Can you imagine that one?
Wow, that's insane.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing. And I think that this is one of the things that you just can't express. It's so hard to like express it to people who are not a part of it. But the culture and the dynamic there, and I hate, like, I don't want people to feel like I feel like they think I'm always like super, but I am excited about the EXP. I'm excited that never in any other organization that I've been part of, I met you not long ago, right? You just came over and I'm like, hey, I really want to learn this. Like, I'm very curious. I'd love to have this, talk with you. And first of all, your enthusiasm is amazing. Like, I love it. I'm like, he made me feel so good. I'm like, he's so excited to talk to me. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know where else I could have had that reach, right? This was a very valuable, conversation. And the fact that, like, I do have people that, and I think that there's some agents that I know that want to break into that market, and I think they'd be very good in that market, right? Like, I think that they are absolutely the perfect candidates to break into that market. I don't have that expertise. You do, and the fact that we're all a part of this together, is huge.
Listen, when I start, anybody can do it, but again, I come back to the beginning. You gotta pay the price. I had only one suit when I went to my training. One suit. There was 2 days training, and I had one suit. Okay, so my daughter just recently was born. My wife, I was living in Orlando, and my wife, stayed in this Motel 8 or something like that, whatever. Just small, room. And I went and I trained myself. I, partnered with people. Then I shadowed some people that were in the market, and then I got my first client, and anybody can do it, but you gotta, check what are your priorities, and you gotta unbalance something. Like you said, I cannot be selling a $3,000 property or a rent or a $3 million. It's totally different. I mean, you cannot do both. I mean, you want to sell the luxury market? Okay. Let me get 24 months. This is what I'm gonna do. Maybe the first 2, 3, 4, 5 months, I don't do it, but I'm gonna market myself as an agent. I'm gonna sell maybe $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, and then you're gonna know the market. You're gonna know every property that has sold in the last 6 months. You're gonna go out and preview the properties, because to see a $3 million property, sometimes you need a CPA letter, or sometimes you need something that tells that you're going to get into the property just to preview the property. Sometimes they ask you, hey, have you sold $1 million properties, or do you have a client? The same thing when you do commercial, right? Which is different. I mean, have you sold a commercial property? So later on, then I started to do businesses. So then I sold a bakery in Collins Avenue, Miami Beach. And then I sold a high-end restaurant in Bal Harbor. So because the guy that got the apartment, the $3, $4, $5 million apartment, he got a business also. So then he says he trusts me, and he says, Oscar, I want you to sell my business. I had never sold $1 million, business, and then I partnership with somebody that was an expert selling businesses, and everybody got a piece of a pie. I mean, at the end of the day, my friends, we sell property. I help. I'm a consultant, whatever, but I gotta sell. So I bring food to my table, and then my client is happy because he sold his property.
Right, exactly.
We're all happy.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So I would love you guys to bring your team, and anybody that is watching to Miami. Please contact Jason and Jen directly. Not that do not contact me, but they are the stars. They are the movie stars. Okay, they are a couple. They're doing it great, and we can do it. We can do something here in Miami in the near future.
Yeah,
and just talk some properties, and we love, guys, to bring you to a $38 million penthouse also, that the pool, it's, you know, outside the apartment. So you see, you know, 50 floors down. and it's crazy.
I love it. Yeah, we definitely got to make that a weekend.
Right.
So we will get with you and we'll get over there.
Yes, and but I also want to respect your time. We're coming up on time, so thank you so much. Like it was great. I loved everything about it. I'm so excited that you're part of our group now. That I've gotten to know you. I love being on our calls on Monday mornings. It's been amazing, and
That's right.
I totally appreciate your time. I'm so excited to see what the future holds, and we'll be in touch for sure.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, and you know, please. Let's make this happen. Everybody that is watching, if you are a new real estate agent or an old one, always remember, nobody cares how many $1 million properties you sold yesterday. You gotta wake up today, do the right stuff, and remember that coffee is for closers only.
I love it.
Nice.
Thank you.
Awesome. Cool.
All right.
Awesome. We will
Thank
talk
you.
to you soon. I appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
You too.